Okay, here we go, the items you will need: cleaning fluid, tape with a strip, tape for sticking a straight edge, cloth for cleaning your club, your straight edge, knife, pair of scissors, stretching frame. This is one that we have. You can make one out of a coat hanger. We've tried it both ways. It really doesn't make very much difference at all. It's just there to hold your practice template straight. And over here a heat gun. We use a heat gun, but you can use a hairdryer. So let's give this a crack. As you can see, we have our golf club here. What we've done is we've put a towel on a chair. We've got a towel leaning over it just to add some weight and hold the club steady as we do it. And we're going to start by cleaning the club. So here we are, we have some nail polish remover and a cloth, and we're just going to give the whole club a very good clean and make sure that there is no residue on it at all. Make sure you wipe the entire club. It's the top where we mostly want to wipe it, because this is where the club crown is going to go. So we give it a very good clean, wiping it all, and I'm going to do all of the club because we want a nice clean surface to stick everything to. And there we are. We'll leave that to dry. We'll wait a minute or two, let the acetone evaporate. Okay, our golf club is clean and we're ready to start to prepare the knifeless tape. So what you want to do is, if you look at your club crown practice sticker, you will see that there are two tabs on there. What we need to do is have one prepared so we can wrap around the golf club. The first thing we need to do is get the knifeless tape started. So we'll take a section of the tape and just use that to stick it down on. I lift the end with a knife. You need a nice acute angle. Put your thumb down and pull sharply, and you will find that that starts your knifeless tape. Now what we need to do is take one of these tabs off. Take your knifeless tape and we pull it off, and what we want to do is make an end for it. And so if you pop that down there like that, stick it down and then just fold it over, and that gives us a piece of string effectively with a stab in it, so we can pull it out when it comes time to take it off our golf club. Okay, so now we have our knifeless tape. It's all ready with the tab for when we come to cutting our crown. And what we need to do is place the tape wherever we want the crown to be cut. So the crown is going to sit on the top. We'll put our tape round the head of the club, and we will do that leaving a long tab, and you line it up. It's very easy, you just stick it on, and once that tab is stuck on there, that will hold there, with your finger and thumb just put it on to the area where you want to cut. Now bear in mind that the tape is some 3 or 4 millimeters thick, and the cut will occur in the middle, so the crown will come halfway down this green tape, and all you do is stick it round, following the contours of where you want your crown to be. When you come to corner, just put your thumb on the end and we go round, sticking it down all the time. Push it down, make sure it's firmly stuck. You just turn your club around. If you've made a mistake or you feel it's not gone around right, you can just lift it and reapply it. Taking your time is the key to this. It will give you a nice neat finish. And we go all the way around to where you want to be. Then when you're happy, we come to the top and just wrap the top round the thing out of the way. And there you have it. This is going to be the edge for your crown. Okay, the next stage in the process is we're going to try and put on the practice crown. Before we can do that, we need to put some alignment marks on your golf club. Because the practice crown has lines, obviously you don't want them like that or like that, and we're going to have a very simple method of aligning. You'll get some double-sided tape and you just undo it like sellotape. There's two bits that have been cut for you that we've prepared already, and all we want to do is pop them on there, 1 and 2. It doesn't matter exactly where on the club face you put them, it's just for aligning at all. And you will see what I'm using, which is in this case a ruler. Take the backing off, and then we are using a ruler, and so we want to line it up so that it's parallel with the lines on the face, and we want the top of the club to, the top of the crown, sorry, to be up at the top there. So we will just pop that on there and stick it on, and that will give us a straight edge with which to align. Now note that this club has got a bit of a dome on the head, so it goes up and it goes down, but we're running parallel to the lines, and what we're going to do when we come to align the crown, we're going to use that as a straight edge. It just gives us a good reference point. Okay, the next stage is to prepare the crown. We have our stretching frame. This is the one that we're using. You want to pull the crown. Doesn't matter if you get your fingers on the edges, obviously you don't want your fingers getting stuck to the bottom side. Just pull the crown away from the backing paper and we lay it face down on the desk. It is very sticky, so I find that helps. And we're then going to put our stretching frame on the edge, and the idea of the frame is just to give us a firmer surface on the crown. And you stick it down, and now it should be stuck to your stretching frame, and just fold the edges over to make sure it's adhered to your stretching frame. And we do that all the way around, and this is now ready to be fitted to the club, so we can hold it and we've got a nice template and it's nice and straight without any creases. Okay, so we have a club ready, we have our crown ready to go on. Here it is with the frame, and I have, in this case it's a heat gun, but you can use a hairdryer. If anything, a hairdryer will be more forgiving because it doesn't give us much heat and you'll have a bit more time. And it won't burn the crown. It's useful at this point just to lift it up, so I'm using a tube of wrapping sellotape, just pop it underneath the club just to give me a bit of height, because what we're going to do is take the crown and stretch it over the top. So if you take your crown and you've got your straight edge, and pop it on the insert, and when you're happy that you have it lined up, in this case I don't know if you can see, I've got the red edge along the ruler. What I'm going to do is just pop it down and gently with your finger rub along the top, and be patient with this. You won't get all of the air bubbles out immediately, and we can move it up and down, but as you can see, that is now stuck. We've used our straightening edge and we no longer need it, so we can actually just pull it off and remove it and get it out of the way. And then what we're going to do is gently pull down and apply some pressure all the time, trying to get all the air bubbles out. Now you will get a little bit of creasing, and of course if it's your first time, you can, if you've got a crease so you don't like, you can lift up and go again, and it's once you've got a fairly good portion of it stuck down, we're going to use the heat gun on it. Again, I've got a crease there, so just lift it up and pop it down. So this section is now crease free, and what we'll do is we'll heat it, and as you heat it, it will become very pliable, and actually you'll find it will drop a little and it'll be easier to push down. So as we apply a bit of heat, you can see it starting already to drop at the back as the crown becomes softer and more malleable. I'll heat it up, and then you can stretch a bit more, and you can see how much more give it has in it. And just using your fingers and your thumb, and we know our tape's there because we can feel it, so that edge is nice and down, and we go to the back and just rub all the way down, again just getting rid of all the air bubbles that you may have in it. And as you can see here, I don't know if it will show up, we have a perfect crown and no air bubbles in it, and we can see that is our edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat the edge just a little bit more, and then I'm going to cut this out and give it a final stretch. There we go. Now you might want to use scissors. I personally prefer to use a craft knife. It's just a little bit easier, and you just cut it off. Be generous with the edge. All we're trying to do at this point is get rid of that stretching frame. And we've left ourselves a little bit of crown to play with. Should we need it. And there we go, one stretching frame out of the way, and push it over your tape all the way around, ensuring that it's firmly stuck down. If you find that you've got a few creases or a few bubbles near the edges, you can just heat it up, pull it up, and then pull it down again. And there we have it, one fitted club crown. Now what I would do is I would let that set for a little while because it's hot and still malleable. I'm just going to pull that tab because it's in the way, and just let that cool down and let it set, and then we'll go through the process of cutting it and the finished product. And we're ready to finish it off. Take the tab that we made earlier and your little green bit of tape, and just make sure that you've got a nice edge to it there. Tuck that out the way around the back, let that dangle there. There is a second tab on the club crown. We're going to pull that off, and the idea of this little tab is to stop the crown lifting off the club when we pull the knifeless tape. So all we want to do is just hold it there like that, and that should stop that edge. Now what we're going to do once it's stuck on is we're going to pull the tape with the tab that we've made. You want a very acute angle, and it's a bit like pulling a plaster off. You want a sort of fairly quick, smooth action. If you go for a high angle and it does come a bit unstuck, you can take it off, heat it and go back, but hopefully we'll get it first time. So when you're ready, I'm putting a finger around the back, I want to hold it, and it's just an acute angle and it's a pull, and you go gently all the way around. I've stopped here because I just want to put my thumb on there, all the way around the corner. I've stopped halfway. I'm just going to turn my club around so that you can see it, and I'll carry on pulling it, and that is it, we are done. Now we've gone all the way around and it's cut. What we have to do is peel off our tape, discard all the bits that we don't want. We'll start from this end because it was lifting, and we can peel away the excess. It does stick down very, very well, and there we have a clean edge, and we peel it all the way around and we discard that. Now if you remember, the crown is halfway down the knifeless tape, and we now need to remove the remnants of the knifeless tape, and of course some of it will be under the crown. So find the end, and I find it easier just to gently slide down, and as you slide down just run your finger over it and the edge will go straight back down, smoothing down all the way. And again, little bit at a time, there's no rush. And again all the way around. Very sticky. And then smooth it down. Now there are no air bubbles on this one. If you do get any bubbles, or there is a slight edge that you're not happy with, you can heat it up. You can also, because it makes it very sticky, just very gently give it a last bit of heat, and there you go. And give it a little wipe with a towel. One crown fitted, no bubbles, with a nice edge, not on the face, and that's a practice one. So give it a go, give it a practice. If you get this one wrong, the next one will be easier. Now there you have it.